Nathaniel, I am so excited for you to share a big change you have made in the past year. Tell me, how have you been with time management in the past?
Terrible.
Tell me more about that.
I was waking up at 8, 9:30, depending on what day and what my classes were. Sometimes 10, and then I was staying up past 4 a.m. some nights, maybe just not sleeping, and some nights going to sleep at midnight and then waking up at maybe 8 and then doing the entire thing over again, school all day, and then, yeah, missing breakfast. Most days, some days, I had breakfast, and then eating a light lunch, and then dinner was my main meal. So yeah, time management was a terrible thing.
And I know that you want to make a big change, and you did something this past year. Tell us about it.
I started going to bed earlier and waking up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m.
Wait, what did you say?
Started going to bed earlier and waking up at 4 or 5 a.m.
Okay, stop right there, because I know some kids are going to go, what? 5 a.m., 4 a.m.? Tell me how you decided to do that.
I was fed up with procrastination and all that. And another part of it was my job. I work as a lifeguard, and the pool opens at 5 a.m., and I stupidly picked up the shift. So one of the mornings I have to wake up at 4 a.m. So I just decided might as well wake up earlier to make that less terrible. But yeah, I was just fed up with doing all-nighters, and I wanted to see if waking up earlier would actually be better than staying up later.
And what was the result?
It does. I'm getting my work done a lot quicker and more efficient, and I think doing a better job at all my work.
Great. All right, tell me this. I know the reason that I know that you were getting up early is because I was up one morning doing my Bible study and starting some school, and I got a text from you that one of our class links on Schoology wasn't working. So I knew that it was pre-6 a.m. and you were working. Tell me about that. What was going on? What were you doing?
Well, I was doing school and the link wasn't working, so I texted Mrs. B as she tells us to do. And that's how that happened.
All right, and so that's when I realized you were actually up. How do you get yourself up?
A loud alarm clock with music.
Okay, so you have a loud alarm clock.
So my routine at night is I go through my alarm, make sure it's set at 5 a.m., and then I set it to a radio station. My favorite one is 102.9, where it's just 70s, 80s, rock, pop, just the popular songs of that time. And I know a lot of those songs, so when I wake up, I'm already in a happy mood compared to a terrible mood when you just hear the beep, beep, beep. And then also the night before, a lot of people will tell you not to do this, but I just decided to do it because I don't care what the other people say. And I find a very interesting video or something that I find interesting, cool, mind-boggling, whatever, and I'll start watching it, or I'll just put it up on my phone, and then I'll turn my phone off and go to bed, and then the next morning that'll help me wake up. So right when I wake up, I'll start watching that video, and that'll get my mind off of wanting to go back to sleep, and rather that'll get me more involved with the video and just get me in the mindset of wanting to learn and just being awake.
That's excellent. So it's like a reward to get you up, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like you jump up and get out of bed and go do math. You jump up, you get out of bed, you watch this video that you want to watch, kind of reward, and then do you have a system or a pattern or something you normally do next?
Yeah, well, while I'm watching the video can sometimes be 10 minutes to 30 minutes.
Okay.
And while I do that, I'll get out of bed, and I have a Christmas tree in my room, so I unplug that every night, then I'll go plug that back in, and then I go over, and I have a whiteboard where I write down what I'm going to do that day so I don't overwork and I don't underwork.
Yeah.
And before I go to bed, I make sure everything is erased off there.
Great.
And then I write my schedule for that day. And after that, I go brush my teeth and take my meds, and then I'm back upstairs and I'm working.
That's awesome. So you have a whiteboard that helps keep you organized. Great. You told me something about how you're getting your work done more efficient earlier. For example, we had class last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning, like I said, pre-6 o'clock is when you texted me. So tell me how that looked this year and how it would have looked last year.
So last year, if you assigned that 2-hour lecture, which I'm sure you have at one point, I just don't remember, I would have procrastinated it till Tuesday night as much of my classmates did.
So right before the next class?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Krista.
Ah!
Sorry.
Love you, Krista.
And then I would have just been rushing. I wouldn't have gotten any sleep. Then I would have come here and been miserable and wanted to take a nap as I did a few weeks ago. And then this year I woke up at 5 a.m. on Thursday, the following day, and I just watched the lecture. And by the time I was done with that, it was 7:30 or so. And compared to last year, I would have just been getting up, or I would have still been asleep. So really the change is really drastic.
It's amazing. So what I'm hearing is you actually did the hardest thing first on the syllabus the very next day after class and got it checked off. So then you had by what?
Prioritization.
Yes, prioritizing. Good. As opposed to last year, all of it would have been crammed into the night before.
Yeah, I would do the easy stuff the day after, and then I'd just wait and just be lazy for the whole week until Tuesday, and then I'd do all the hard stuff.
Okay, do you feel like you're retaining more, your work is better quality this way? Yeah, and I know you've always cared about getting your work done. You've always been like that. That's why you stayed up till all hours of the night. But you do feel like it's better.
And I thought about it, and compared to staying up late, you're just drowsy and you want to go to bed. But then when you wake up earlier in the morning, once you're awake, you've been rested from a busy day or semi-busy day the day before. And I go to bed at maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometimes later, sometimes earlier. And I try to get 8 hours of sleep each night.
Okay.
And I'll feel really rested once I'm actually up and I get past that state of wanting to go back to bed. So I'll be able to focus probably 10, 20 times more than I was able to last year when I was pulling all-nighters.
Amazing. I have 3 quick questions I'm going to mention so I don't forget them. Okay. 1 is Arnold Schwarzenegger. How does he play into this? 2 is you mentioned the sun, watching the sun come up.
Yeah.
And 3 is how has this benefited your, if you've gained time or not. So let's take those 3.
I was listening to kind of this speech or something by Arnold, and he was saying how he had this routine where he woke up at like 4 or 5 a.m. And he was saying that most humans need maybe 6-7 hours, and he was talking about adults because teenagers need more than that because brain's still developing. And I just thought, well, if he can do it, I can probably do it. And he was saying once you get up, you have all this time compared to waking up at 9:30 and going to bed at maybe 10 or 11. You have all this time to dedicate what you want after you're done working and before you're done working or before you start working. So yeah, and then
awesome. Sun, watching the sun.
And then I found that there's just something about being up while the sun rises. So if you're up at 5 a.m. in the summertime, the sun rises at around 7 o'clock. So if you're up at 5 a.m., you have maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of just working, and then suddenly you'll look up and then it starts getting brighter. And then as it gets brighter, you just feel more energetic and more awake. So I just found that interesting.
I think that's really neat. You mentioned you heard the birds singing. I mean, it was really cool to me.
It's just like a Disney movie. Just all of a sudden, just birds.
All right, people, if you are not doing this, it's like a Disney movie. You should try it. All right, what about gaining time for yourself?
Yeah, I've gained time.
You really feel like you've gained a lot of time by getting what has to be done done earlier. When are you kind of free most days to start your own whatevers?
Probably in the afternoon if I don't have... Well, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've band all afternoon into the evening. But all the other days, I do my school in the morning, go to class, and then after class, I'll either do some homework that the class just assigned, or I'll just be able to do whatever I want.
Wow. You have really made drastic changes. How long has it been since?
I think a few weeks before summer I started this.
Incredible.
No, a few weeks before the start of the school year.
Anything to encourage anybody before we close it down, or anything else
In
you want to
the
say?
almighty words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Just do it.
Suck it up, buttercup.
Nathaniel, thank you so much. So proud of you.